Damn, dude!
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
What up, everybody? What is good? Welcome to the Damn Dude podcast.
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
This is the show where we have the conversations that need to be had in a way that'll make you think and say, damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
This show exists to help educate, entertain, and make an impact on different perspectives and contexts that we have in life. Because I truly believe that the more access we have to different perspectives and contexts, the easier and doper and smoother life is to fucking navigate. So, welcome to the show, you guys. This is a very, very, very special episode for many reasons. This is one of my favorite episodes so far. This is, like I said, season 2, episode 99. That makes 199 episodes in. And boy, oh boy, do we have a very, very, very special interview for you guys today. Yo, I don't know that shit can get... No, that's not what I was going to say. Sorry, I'm tired as fuck, you guys. But it's funny because we recorded the podcast yesterday, and this morning I'm recording like the intro part to the podcast. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll just get on and say something real quick, and I'm fucking struggling. I had a bunch of shit in my head. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna say this and that. But you know what? No, it's all good. Like I said, this is a very, very important episode for many reasons. One big thing for me is you guys may not notice it, and it may not seem like anything, but for myself, I feel like I tapped into a new way, a new style of interviewing and asking questions, kind of like a new format and a new context for me to come from, and to what I'm able to create out of these questions. And my view of an interview now is different than what I had always had before. So you're probably going to hear me doing a lot more interviews because I'm kind of ready for that again. This whole last year, I really needed to use this as a safe place to document and express and practice, you know what I'm saying? So now I'm like, all right, I think I'm ready to do a bunch of interviews again. And I know some really fucking interesting people, like really interesting people. And I've met a lot of interesting people in this last year. So with that being said, you guys are going to kind of hear a new different style from me. And like I said, we've got a fucking surprise interview. This one goes deep, and this one's going to make you feel really good. I'm just going to say that because the more I'm talking, the more I'm taking away from the actual interview. So you guys seriously enjoy this one. This is going to be one of those ones where you're going to have to rewind back a bunch of times or listen to this episode 4 or 5 times. Because of the depth of some of the things that are said and how they're said, that's just what it's going to require. So without further ado, I present to you guys one of the best interviews fucking ever, just because it's so dope and so real and so fun. I love you guys. Enjoy.
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
Yo, what up, you guys? We got a fucking sick ass interview and got my motherfucking brother in the house.
Whoop whoop.
We got Sebastian Hernandez in the motherfucking building.
What up? What up?
Yo, so, dude. So, it's kind of funny when we like start a show because we've already been kicking it. So it's like, hey, how you doing, bro? Like, bro, we've been talking for an hour. Oh shit. I guess just kind of tell people who you are again real quick, just to, if they don't know who you are, remember you from the last episodes.
Yeah, Sebastian Hernandez, self-mastery coach. On the journey of continuing to step into and embody my highest self while serving my purpose of empowering others to step into their greatness and recognize how incredible, amazing they are.
I love that. That is so cool. With that, I hope to be able to do the same thing for you today. So, with that being said, I just have different kinds of questions than usual today. And I also have a surprise for you at the end of here where I'm gonna put you on the fucking spot.
Oh man.
But it's gonna be fun. So it's kind of just to hold you to something you said and encourage your greatness.
Oopa.
So, all right, just first of all, what is the coolest thing in the world to you?
The coolest thing in the world to me is freedom.
Damn,
dude.
All right, what does freedom mean to you?
The capacity and ability to do as I please when I want without any restrictions from anybody, including myself.
That's fucking sick. So what does that look like in your real life?
My ability to do what I want to do. Like really to have the freedom to go as I please, to say I want to go to a different country and to have the freedom to go so. To say I choose to do this with my life and have the freedom to do so. To say this is the type of lifestyle that I want to create and I want to live for myself and start to manifest and actually embody that. So it's the freedom to actually take action on the things that matter to me and have no restrictions, or the restrictions that are there to see the opportunity to overpass them and not feel like it's impossible.
Okay. So what does, with that being said, and if that's your focus and context of life, what does your day-to-day life look like or consist of that equals that? Because a lot of times you could just be doing some regular shit and people don't realize that that's what you're doing.
Yeah, something as simple as being able to wake up on my own terms and going to work on my terms when I want. If I want to work at 2 PM, then I get to choose to work at 2 PM. If I want to have phone calls or meetings between the hours of 9 AM and 1 PM, then that's how I set up my lifestyle so I can do it that way, right? So it's the ability to organize and structure my life in a way that gives me the freedom to do what I want.
Fuck yeah. Dude, I love that, bro. That's so fucking cool, man. That's like, I recorded an episode a couple episodes ago where I was talking about, I met this man in the sauna, and the whole theme of what I got from him was, this man owns his own time. And that's basically what you're describing to me right now, is you own your own time. And I had said something along the lines before of like, a man who owns his own time is a dangerous and powerful and badass motherfucker, because he can choose where he wants to show up, when he wants to show up, or her, or whatever, right? Like, it just makes you a badass motherfucker if you can own your own time. And I think somebody who owns their own time is the embodiment of the fulfillment of your inner child. Like, so I guess the next thing, like, this kind of ties all together in a weird way. This is kind of like a left field question at the same time. But to tie all this together, what does childhood mean to you?
What does childhood mean to you?
Yes, and then we're going to tie this all back together.
Wow, that's an interesting question. What does childhood mean to me? Childhood, I would say, is a stage in which all children go through. Yeah, I would say it's just a stage, because what that stage looks like, I believe, is so relative. So it's a stage. It's a stage that children that obviously from a certain age gets experience, but I can't necessarily say that it looks or feels a specific way, because not every child gets to experience childhood the same way.
Yeah. Do you think, or do you believe that beliefs and ideas you have about yourself when you're a child are relevant or important to who we are and how we do things today?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's funny. To reference to that, I was in a men's circle last week, and we were talking about honoring our word and honoring our integrity, right? And I asked the question to the group, is it necessary that we stay committed to our word even when we no longer feel in alignment? So one of the guys that was there, he goes, well, I kind of just want to share my story. And he goes, when I was a little kid, I was 7 years old, I said that I wanted to be a chef. And I was so caught up that that's what I wanted to do. And my entire teenage years, I grew up thinking I wanted to be a chef. In my early 20s, I decided I wanted to be a chef. In my early 30s, I realized that I chose a career and that I've been living a life made by a decision of a 6-year-old. And that who he was at the age of 30 is not the same one as he was at the age of 6. Right. But it took him to actually recognize that. And so going back to what you asked, how much of our childhood impact our day-to-day life? I think a lot of it until we recognize it.
Wow. Damn, that takes my brain a lot of different ways. So like, okay, I guess let's reframe this a little bit. Like, how important do you think living a life as an adult, sorry, I'm kind of saying this backwards. How important do you think it is to make the child version of yourself proud of you this day and age?
To make the child version of you proud of you today?
Yeah.
Like if I was to ask my child version, hey, are you proud of the version I am today?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, what is the question exactly?
Like, fuck, I just kind of spaced. I started going to the next thing. So, how important is it to make the kid version of you proud? Or is it?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. Yeah, I think that's a great question because it's a great question to assess. If I was to ask the child version of me, are you proud of who you've become? And if the answer is no, well, then there's obviously a hint there's something to be changed. Right. But if you can ask that child version of you, hey, are you proud of what you've become or what you're becoming? And that version of you says yes, then I think that's in alignment. Mm-hmm. Right. I guess the real question is, how often do we ask that child version of ourselves, hey, are you proud of who you're becoming?
Wow. I love that. Bro, that just made me think of something too, where it's like, especially in the example you just shared of the dude who, as a child, he said, I'm going to be a chef. And if he grew up and he wasn't a chef or he was a chef, it's like, let's say he's not a chef anymore. Does that make the kid version of him not proud of him anymore? I think it's not necessarily about, like, for me, I was going to be a firefighter and I'm not a firefighter. I was going to be, it just didn't work out. But like, I think it's more so honoring the spirit of why you wanted to do that versus doing that specific fucking thing itself. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Like there's certain characteristics or values or, like the experience of what that title, what that role, what that career would give you, right? Maybe that's the payoff or that's what you would be excited about as a child. Yeah, so maybe it wasn't so much the thing, but what that thing would provide.
Ooh, that's deep. Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
And so I think it's the bringing awareness to even that. It's like, all right, but why did I want to be a firefighter? What was it about being a firefighter that would get me excited, right?
Yeah. Wow. I think half of it is the belief that you can be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, I can be? Fuck, I'm going to pretend to be a ninja. I'm going to pretend to be this because I fucking can be. Like,
yeah.
Wow. No, that's like, I think that's important.
I want to say something to that because I think it's very crucial and I love that. And it's kind of like what I was talking about earlier in the interview I had earlier today was that as we grow up as adults, that inner child starts to diminish. And this idea that as a child that we can be anything starts to become more and more quiet.
Yes.
And now all of a sudden we're more filled with self-doubt, with insecurities, with all these justifications of why we can't be what we said we wanted to be, right? Because we've now lived a little, and in that living, we've accumulated experiences that either confirm that we're not good enough, that we're not capable of it, so therefore why try, why continue? Right. And therefore it's the vision of the purity, the innocence of anything is possible that dwindles.
Yeah.
And now we become predictable beings that just get sucked into the rat race or a routine that just becomes mundane and it's just life.
Fuck. Bro, when you said predictable, that really fucking stands out because it's like that kind of just proves to myself what is the idea that you can be, the creativity is half of it at least. Like it's such a, it's like once your perspective switches to like I can't or I have to do this, or it's like it's not possible anymore. Like everything, all bets are off at that point. Like it's not fun. You start doubting, and it just starts compiling. Like
absolutely. I have this way of looking at obstacles, and it was actually brought to my attention at a young age. And it was that obstacles are meant to be there, and they're meant to be there to question whether you actually want it or not. Because if an obstacle's there, and if you really want it, you're going to throw the hat over the fence. You're going to figure out a way to get there.
Yeah.
Right. And when you really don't want it that bad enough, you'll find an obstacle to cop out. You're like, wait, what is the reason? What's the excuse I can provide to like be like, yeah, this isn't it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's like obstacles are put in place to really identify, is this really, really what I want?
Yeah.
Right. Just as temptation. I feel that temptation is just as sneaky.
Wow.
Right. Because the temptation would be like, well, you say you want this, but let me get you this. You can have this right here. Like, it's just as good. Are you sure? I know it's not what you actually want, but it's kinda. Like, look, you've been waiting for so long. Might as well just stick to this.
Fuck. Holy shit, dude. I'm just seeing the majority of people's relationships, their career, it's exactly that. Yeah, but security. It's like, dude, at some point you got to let that security blanket go, And that kind of like brings me to the next question I have, which is like, at what point do you think childhood starts ending for a lot of people? Like not physically, but like that mentality and that spirit, like, and like why, and how can adults keep harnessing that for each other and for our youth growing up at the same time having them be responsible? We can't just be playing all the time, like.
Yeah. I feel like, so kind of like what I said earlier, I feel like childhood isn't so much, childhood to me, it's a stage, right? It's a stage of age based, not experience based, because every child is so different. So, because if it was based off experience, well, some children experience their purity childhood and that gets robbed from them at a very, very early age. Like at the age of, it could be as young as 2-3 years old.
Right.
So does that mean that their childhood is done at that age? No. They're still in their childhood. They're just now experiencing things that may not be childlike. And so they have to grow up, and they have to be their purity, their innocence is robbed in that childhood stage, right? And so again, I would say that childhood is a stage in time that is very crucial for the development of that being into a stable, grounded being in society, or even just individually, independently, right? Because I feel like also, as I said that, it's like, well, we're often being molded to be good in society, but sometimes even that is a double-edged sword. We teach people to be so in society that we don't teach them to be individuals. Right? And so now it's becoming dependent of an image, of an expectation of what it's supposed to be like, and even that could be limiting. Right, because that limits the capacity to self-express beyond the limitations of the society. Right, and so now it's now limited by the collective, and so now even the collective is limited because the collective is limiting the childhood.
Yeah. Wow. Fuck. That is so deep, bro. That just made me think of like all the crazy shit going on with like schooling and all this stuff, and like. You've got all these like teachers now teaching kids about sexuality and all this stuff is fucking like kindergarten, first grade, second grade. And it's like, shit, that's just so far beyond like protecting gay rights. It's just like, okay, we're crossing the border. We're crossing that line heavy here. And it's like, but it's weird because there's certain communities where it's like, yeah, we need to keep doing this. And you're like, the fuck? Like, this is crazy. But at the same time, they think they're doing what's right. And, it's like, who knows at the end of the day who's doing what's right or not? Like, we're all trying to do our best, like, and sometimes us doing our best equals doing some fucked up shit, which is, it is also always interesting. Yeah.
As you go, I feel like that's part of the process. It's your relationship to failure has to doesn't have to do anything, right? But when your relationship to failure is from a place of necessary, like failure is necessary. Like I need to fail. Like if I can relate to failure as my access to winning, then all of a sudden I'm looking forward to my failures.
Fuck yeah.
And I'm not defined by my failures. Right? Failures is now part of my growing process because I now understand that failure is what's necessary for me to continuously evolve and expand. A muscle only gets bigger after it's destroyed. Therefore, my failures is my destruction.
Wow.
And therefore, in that destruction, every time I get back up is an opportunity to recreate myself stronger and stronger and stronger. But the question is, how comfortable do we feel failing and really looking at failure as an opportunity? And that could go back down to kind of circling back to childhood. And when we were a child, did we relate to failure as it was something bad? Were we punished? Were we ostracized? Right? Were we put down? Were we belittled because we weren't good enough, because we didn't win in the games, because we weren't winning in sports? Or there was this pressure that because we were winning, we had to keep that up. And so now we had like this extra edge of stress, right? And so all this could happen in that childhood, and that again develops into adult life. Yeah. And so, like I said, until we are actually able to identify, wait, why am I the way I am? Why do this? Why am I? It's kind of like what we talked about in the car. There's two lives. There's the first life, which is the one that you're born into. And you're born with all these thoughts and ideas that you think that that's just the way it is. And then some of us are lucky enough to have a second chance of living. And it's when we realize that, wait, a lot of the way that I'm living isn't even my creation. It was based off what people told me I was supposed to live. And that waking up to, oh, wait, now I have a choice. And now I'm not at the whim of the collective. Now I am independent from the collective and can now become or learn to become interdependent with the collective.
Wow. Damn, yeah, damn. You know, wow, that's crazy. That just made me think. It's like I realize a lot of times it's like a lot of people when they want to win or succeed, it's kind of turns into this like fuck everybody else rather than like let's kind of like help each other and web together so we can, you know, interdependence. Like, yeah, no, that's fucking cool. What do you think some of the most important things to know as a child this day and age would be?
What is something that that's important for a child?
Yeah, to know this day and age. Or like, what are some important things kids should know?
What are some important things kids should know? The relationship to self. I think that's really key. What is the relationship to self? And again, that exploration of who am I? What do I want? What do I care for? What are my boundaries? I think that's huge for children. Boundaries, like as a child, how does a child set his boundaries? How does a child know when an adult is crossing the line? How does a child differentiate between an adult that is being manipulative and an adult that's gaslighting and an adult that's actually being sincere? Right? And so, and look, even as children, even as adults, how do we know when other adults are being manipulative, right? And sincere. Right. So I think that being able to, and it sucks because again, this is the purity aspect, right? Because I believe that as children are so pure and so innocent that they tend to naturally see the best and the good in everyone. Right. And I feel like with time, life shows us that we can't be that way, right? And so it's maybe how do we create a healthy balance in understanding, yes, it's good to see the good in people, and yes, it's good to also understand our boundaries and understand that not everybody is on the same page. Yeah,
I like that. That's really good. That's so important because that's such a good, healthy foundation, really. Like, yeah, fuck. No, I like that a lot. Like, no, it's interesting because I didn't even know that I should have boundaries until I was in my late 20s. Like, I literally never even heard that. And if I did hear it, I didn't know what it meant and it just completely flew over my head. So it was like, I just knew, like, how I understood it was like, you don't let people fuck with you. You don't let people bully you or bully your friends. If you do, you stand up and you fight. And I was like, okay, I can do that. You know, like, I got that down. But like this whole not knowing boundaries or what was okay or this or that, you know, it's like, it's so hard to navigate as a kid. And you don't know what's right or wrong. And it's like, what's cool at your house may not be cool in school. And what's cool in school may not be cool at your house and, you know, wherever you go. So it's like, having boundaries is big. Like, that's such a huge thing.
And I feel now with so much, I feel like there's so much limelight on pedophilia that I feel like, all right, well then what's another solution to pedophilia? It's let's continue to educate our children so that they're not exposed to these behaviors.
Fuck yeah.
Right? So it's like, all right, well, yes, we can condemn the people that are doing it, but then how do we also, what's another countermeasure? Well, the education aspect. Yeah. Right? And the education comes with, all right, understanding boundaries, understanding how to respect yourself, right? And how to carry yourself in such a way that demonstrates that you are clear and you will speak up and you will not tolerate being touched in any way, right? So that bubble. So I think that's really important. Yeah. Like you said, I don't think most adults nowadays aren't even taught about boundaries, right? Right. I feel like this is a real new wave that's coming in across the board, right? Because it wasn't necessarily something that was constantly pushed or educated. So I think that boundaries is really important. Yeah. And self-respect.
Dude, I agree, man. Because if you think about it, it's like boundaries apply everywhere to everything. It's like there's no scenario or version of life that we can show up and like boundaries don't apply. You know, it's like you need to have them at your work, in your different relationships, in your different friendships, or whatever. Like, yeah, I think that's so fucking key, dude. And then also it's like, I don't know. I feel like if boundaries are established, then like knowing what to communicate is automatic. You know, it's like a lot of times kids won't say anything because it's like, oh, I didn't say anything because I don't want to get in trouble. And it's like, no, you got screwed in this situation. Like, we need you to speak up. And it's like, had that child known their boundaries, they would know to say something and know that, okay, this isn't going to get me in trouble. This is like, you know. But it's like, that's kind of the other, you know, that's the other wacky piece to this whole thing too, is like, you've got people who will never be found out or known. And it's like, these cycles will keep going on. And it's like, but yeah, I mean, yeah, like you said, boundaries. I think that's a great, great, great place to start with the protection of our kids and arming them with just good information and a good fucking healthy place to like move forward, you know?
Yeah, it gives them the tools to be able to acknowledge and recognize and be able to speak up. Yeah. Right. And not feel intimidated by adults.
Dude, fuck. Oh, I love that. Okay, hold on. We're going to take a quick break. I got to reset the camera. We'll be right back.
Damn, dude.
What up, everybody? We bike. So, oh, you're not supposed to say on podcasts. Bro, that was probably it still is one of the hardest things to not say and like. That shit, bro, it takes a lot. It's weird.
I naturally wanted to say it, like, to confirm it, like,
all right, so no, this is good. This is some good shit. So no, like I said, this interview is just a little bit different this time. Like, what is a cool ass story from childhood of yours? Anything, whatever the fuck comes to mind. It could be happy, funny, sad, inspiring, whatever.
A childhood story of mine. Oh man, you put me on the spot. I can't. Oh man. Can we pause this?
I can move to the next thing or something. But
yeah, let's move to the next one and I'll think about that one.
Okay, cool. Cause Yeah. No, I've just been so fascinated by kids and the way that they think and the way that they interpret that I want to kind of get into the practice and habit of asking childlike questions. Because if I ask a kid, what's your favorite thing in the world? They get really excited. And how many times as an adult do you get asked that question or those types of questions? So I'm like, there's something fun and magic about this. And I think that there's something that huge and powerful that exists in visiting our childhood. Because in my own experience, when I go back to my childhood, I can heal shit. I can remember shit. I can get a sense of why I do shit the way I do now. You know, decisions I made based off of when I was 6 years old and I'm acting them out as a 30-something-year-old. Like, you know, all that shit just, I don't know, fucking trips me out, dude. So I've been, I don't know, it's been inspired by that. Like, it's fucking cool.
Yeah. So I think I can think of a story, or at least something that came to mind.
Fuck yeah.
I don't know how funny or how great it is, but it's a story that I find it so interesting.
Fuck it. That's what we want.
And it was the first time, I think it was fourth grade, and my mom was like very overprotective of me being the only child. And so I remember like I really enjoyed riding my bike, and I would take my bike and I would just go and like just random places and just find like trails, and it'd be so much fun. And so finally my mom gave me permission to ride my bike to school.
Yeah.
Like that was a big thing for her because she was just like, no, like overprotective, right? And this is like fourth grade. So I'm like 9 years old, I think. I don't know. 9, 10 years old. And finally she gives me permission. I'm like, yes, I felt like such a big boy now. Like, I'm like, yes, I get to go to school with my bike. Like, what? Like, this is dope. Yeah. And she gave me the keys, or I had the keys to the house. Everything's great. School is done. I on my way back to the house, like I mentioned, or I didn't mention this, but she was working. My mom and my dad would work 2 jobs. So when I would get home from school, they wouldn't be home, right? And so I get home and I forgot my keys to the house.
Oh no!
And obviously now there's no cell phones back then. There's like,
yeah,
there's none of that.
Sorry, I tripped you real quick. Okay, go ahead, keep going.
So there's no cell phone. There's no way. And so all I'm thinking is like, fuck, my mom is going to kill me. Right? Because like the first thing she said was, as soon as you get to the house, you better call me so that she knows that I made it to the house. Man, she didn't get home till like 3 hours later, and I was just pacing back and forth, just wondering, like I was just anticipating the ass whooping I was gonna get. Like I had tried to climb through the windows, like I had tried to do everything, and there was nothing I could do. All I could remember is when that car pulled up to the driveway and seeing my mom's face. Fuck, I knew I was in for it. And that's exactly it. No matter how much I tried to explain to her, I forgot the keys. I forgot the keys. She was not having it, man. She was pissed off. Yeah. And that was the last time I rode a bike to school.
Oh no.
Actually, no, that's not true. That was then once I got into middle school, then it was like, all right, that was a different story. But man, that was that's a story where out of my control, and again tend to piss people off when things are out of my control.
Bro, that's so funny, dude. I love that. That's so cool, man. I like, you know, that's so fun to me, dude. Like, I love hearing that type of shit, dude. Like, that just so took me back to like so many fucking memories of my own. Like, I'll just share this just because I haven't thought of this in fucking years. But there was one time I was in like 2nd or 3rd grade, and I walked home from school, and my parents weren't home yet. Well, no, hold on. Let me rewind a little bit. My friend's cousin started going to the same school as us, and she was ghetto, like super ghetto, like next level type. Like she was tagging the walls and shit in like elementary school, like super ghetto. But she had the hugest crush on me, and she was like twice my size. She was this huge black girl. And she would chase me around, and one time she like knocked my backpack over, and she went, "Oh my God, Calvin, will you ever forgive me? So every time she would chase me, she'd go, will you ever forgive me? Running at me with her arms trying to hug me. And I was so scared of her. But I remember one time I fucking ran home from school trying to fucking do anything I could to hide from her. And then she lived across the street. So I hear her. She's loud as fuck. She's walking down the street. And I'm just hiding behind like my parents' or like the broken car we had in the driveway. And then like she walks one way and I walk the other way. And I just remember being so fucking scared, dude. Like she's gonna find me and hug me. Like, oh no.
It's funny our relationship to girls back then, right?
Yeah. Dude, yeah. No, like, it's so funny just because, like, you telling your story, it just, like, there's something that feels so good about, like, tapping into childhood shit. And it's like, how come we don't do these silly things anymore? Like, like, what is it that makes us stop? What makes us have so much pride? Or at, like, what point are we fucking too cool? Like... it's just fucking trippy, bro. Like,
to be honest with you, I think it's just there isn't enough of these prompts, enough of these like questions. Really, like how often do people sit around and have these conversations and just ask, like, "Hey, tell me a story of your childhood. What was it like?" Right? Like, how often do we get that opportunity to actually share that and like and express ourselves and go back to those thoughts and go back to those memories,
Yeah.
And so I think if anything, it's an opportunity to inspire one another to engage in those conversations again. Where I'm at right now at my friend's house, one of her roommates, he has all these cards, all these decks that are like enticing questions. Oh. Right. And so it's like these card games, and like all there it is you ask these questions, and sometimes it just triggers or it provokes these really powerful questions that you would have never thought. Right. And It's cool to be able to do that. And I think that's kind of what we're talking about. I don't think it's done that much because how often do we take the time to allow ourselves to question that?
Dude, yeah. Fuck yeah, bro. I so agree. And it's interesting, like, it feels weird to ask people that sort of stuff, I feel like. Like, for me, I feel uncomfortable because it's such a random or it's just like a question we're not used to. So it feels weird to engage in it. Like, like, I don't know, it's a trippy feeling to think about. Like,
yeah, you just reminded me, I feel like sometimes it's like being curious can get you in trouble. Right. And the reason I say it was, so I was in Colombia, and I meet this one woman, right? And I tell her about this specific medicine that I was looking for. She's like, oh, no, I don't have any, but my girlfriend does. I'm like, all right, well, great. How do I get in contact with your girlfriend? She's like, oh, well, I'll set it up. So we end up meeting up later on in the evening at the beach. And this is out of just curiosity because obviously she's working with specific plant medicine and it intrigues me. So I want to know more. Yeah. Right. So I'm asking her all these questions and like really curious and like, all right, how did you start and what do you do? And eventually she just got mad at me. She's like, look, if you don't believe in what I do and what I got to do, then we're not meant to work together. I'm like, wait, what? I'm just asking because I genuinely want to know. Not because I'm questioning your credibility. Yeah. Right. And so I think that sometimes I feel like that was how it came off sometimes. It was like questioning someone's credibility versus questioning from a space of just curiosity, like really engaging from a place of awe and wonder.
Wow.
Versus, are you telling me the truth? Are you really what you say you are? Mm-hmm. Right? And so I can see how one is from a place of like, prove to me who you are. And the other one is just like, keep inspiring me with who you are.
Yeah. Bro, I love that. That's so good. And it's crazy because I've been having these conversations lately where like, I like curiosity can definitely get you into trouble, but I think it's trouble you should get into and is always worth getting into. Like for me, this has been said for like the last month. I keep talking about it, but for me, and you might know this just based off of how we've gone out and done things, but I always need to see around the next corner. Like it drives me crazy to not like. I want to go look around over there. Like, it drives me crazy to not see around the next fucking turn or the next mountain. Like, I just want to go look. Like, and when I go out exploring in the desert or the mountains, like, I'm like, where most of the time I should have stopped, I'm like, just around the next one. What's around the next one? What's around the next one? And I just keep doing that. But it's like, that's how you end up running out of gas. That's how you end up getting stuck. That's how you end up fucking crashing. That's how you end up getting scratches on your car. Like, but at the same time, that's also how you find the secret caves. And that's also how you find the hidden waterfalls. And that's also how you find the fucking sacred fucking fountain of youth. Or that's also how you find the fucking sacred plant or the sacred flower. Or like, you know, so it's always just around the next corner that you're willing to take the risk. It's like, yo, I'm willing to get stuck and run out of gas or whatever the fuck just to see it. You know what I mean? Like, fuck it. Like, and that's something that I've been trying to tap into is curiosity. Like, and I think I have been, and just being more curious, because I know also like I could just, because I'm not used to being told what to do, I can very easily steamroll people with what I want to do or what I want to say, because it's like, I do shit on my own terms, you know, like you can't tell me not to say anything, like, or not to not do anything. Like, so, like, I definitely acknowledge I can steamroll people sometimes, but at the same time, like,
what do you mean by steamrolling? Because I think this is really, I think I can relate to this. So
okay,
please.
I would say not checking in with people how they feel, or not taking subtle things where people will be like, sure. I'm just like, okay, she said yes, like, let's go. Like, it's like, but that hesitation, pay attention to that. Like, it means, like, without assuming, but just being aware, you know, it's like, okay, I could feel that. So times I'll just not really care because I'm not used to needing to consider anybody else's feelings. It's like, I need to fucking do what I got to do. It doesn't matter what you're going to say. And that's part of like being able to build a business or be a man who speaks freely or owns his own time. Is kind of like, I guess that's what I mean by steamroll people, is like, I'm just so used to like, I can't stop for anybody. You know what I mean? Like, I have to go hard for the rest of my life for me, no matter what. At the same time, I can do it with more grace. I could do it with more listening, compassion, empathy, all of that. So I guess that's what I mean with that. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Does that kind of resonate with you the same? Or?
Yeah. No, because I can relate to that in the sense of, sometimes I feel that because of this independence of me doing the way I do things, sometimes I guess it's like I lead my life, and in leading my life, it may interfere with other people's plans, and sometimes I disregard that because I'm focused on leading my life.
Bro, yeah, that's the word, disregard. That's exactly it for me. Like, yeah. No, I can so relate to that, bro. I feel like that's exactly it. Is like, yeah, it's like I'm doing what I'm doing, and I'm doing good things. I'm up to good things. You're not gonna catch me slandering people or trying to do something sneaky or bad. Or it's like, no matter when you turn the camera on me, I'm gonna be trying at least, or my thoughts, everything's gonna be trying to do something that's good. And at the same time, like, you can't tailor that off for anybody, you know, like, otherwise you're not going to, we can't fulfill on our dream and vision, you know. Yeah. But, you know, I think, like you're saying, it's like being able to have more grace and understanding, kind of sometimes slow down a minute is okay. It's not going to derail the entire plan to slow down and kind of just slow down, I guess, really.
Yeah. And I feel like there's a time and place for it, and I have a bandwidth for it. So, for instance,
wow, I like that.
So the retreat that I just co-created in Colombia, man, it really, I felt there was this father figure experience, and the father figure experience was I was the one that was responsible for making sure that everybody was like on track, right? Because like we needed to be a specific place at a specific time. And so it's like, all right, well, who's going to make sure that we actually get there? All right, well, no one's doing it, so I have to make sure. So not only am I doing it for myself, but then I got to do it for everybody else, right? And so it's like, all right, I can play this role, but it has a toll, right? It has a toll that unless I'm choosing to consciously be in that role, it can get to a point where it's just like, all right, I don't want this role anymore.
Fuck.
Right.
Oh
And
my
so
God,
it's like, all right. So, and again, I'm blessed. I don't know if that's the right word. No, I don't want to say I'm blessed.
Well, you are.
Well, yes, I am blessed. I am blessed. Yes, I am blessed. And right now, where I'm at currently, I don't have necessarily anybody that depends on me, right? And so therefore, I have the ability to choose when I want to be in that role and when not to, right? And so as a facilitator, that's the role. Right. As a facilitator, you're playing that role of a protector, of a guide, of a safe space, of someone that can be a sacred container. Right. And again, that has a toll. So being able to pull back from that and have that awareness of like, all right, where am I at? What do I want? How do I readdress to make sure that I'm in alignment and that I'm actually capable of being at my best when I'm in that role? So that it's that when I'm not, do I have the means to self-love myself, to generate the groundedness necessary? And so therefore it's that self-love. It's that, what are those self-love practices? How do I regenerate myself? How do I recompose myself? How do I make sure that I'm back in my alignment figure so that when I'm in that role of facilitator, I am in alignment and integrity?
Wow.
But the integrity happens is in those times where we get out of the box that we put ourselves in, and we're able to actually look at where we put ourselves in and then allow ourselves to ease our way in. And what I mean by that is not make ourselves bad and wrong for where we're at, but rather acknowledge where we're at and then be able to say, all right, these are the measures I'm going to take to shift, to alter, to transform, to improve, to get better. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to rest right now. I'm going to give myself the space to maybe get a massage, to be in the jacuzzi, to actually love myself enough to say, and I deserve it. I deserve to self-grow.
Damn.
I deserve to take time for myself so that when I'm in the grind again, I'm fully in the grind.
Yeah. I love that.
But it gives you enough time to get out of the grind and see what it looks like to be in the grind. Mm-hmm. It's like getting out of it and identifying and loving and self-loving, right? So I can imagine that now as a father, and maybe you can speak more to this, right? Is how do you provide that self-love to yourself? Yeah, how do you provide yourself self-love?
Bro. Okay. All right. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, hold on. You're moving too fast here. Hold on. Damn, that just fucked me up, bro. Oh shit. Okay. Professional here. Okay. So fuck, I don't know what to say. Bro, fuck. I was so set on fucking going the direction I was ready to go, and then you fully flipped it on me. All right. Okay. Okay. No, so okay, I can answer that. Okay. So, what I do to be able to unwind as a father. Hold on actually. I got to flip this back on you first. And then I'll answer that question.
Okay.
Because I had written down here, and this, you almost already answered the answer, but I think when I ask you this differently, you're gonna say some different things. So, I wanted to ask you, because you don't have kids, because you're not a father yet, and for the sake of history, right now, before having kids, what does it mean to you to be a father?
Ooh. What does it mean to me to be a father?
I got this much time before I got to reset the camera.
What does it mean to me to be a father? I would say in the first stages, a protector.
Ooh, I love that you said in the first stages.
Yeah.
That's sick.
In the first stage, protector and provider. And then I would say a guide, a source, or a loyal guided source.
So what does that look like in real life? Like what actions would that person, would you take to create that?
To be a guide, walking side by side, allowing my child to walk his path exactly how he needs to walk it, and me just being right by his side, knowing that no matter what, I'm here. Keep going. No matter what, I'm here, right? And so it's to be able to provide that courage to keep moving forward and knowing that they're backed all the way to the end.
Ooh, I love that. That's good. That's really deep. That's fucking cool, bro. I like that. Let's reset this real quick, and then I will get to what you asked me here, because I like that. I got something good just came.
Damn, dude.
All right, welcome, bike people. Welcome, bicycle. So, something hit me when you asked me so you know how you're saying you have a bandwidth, and sometimes you have to stop being playing that role and go play a different role. Well, with being a father, it's never off, and the role is always on. So, the simple answer would be, what do I do to go reset? Would be meditate, surf, read, ride my motorcycle, go to the beach, go exploring. That's the simple answer. But the real answer to that is how I define and contextualize being a father and what that means to me is how I create that freedom and space in my brain. So to me, my understanding of being a father is basically what you said, is it's my job. I think very visually. So what I picture is what it means to be a parent. The best parent I could be is to create, and I guess this is a visualization, is picture a bridge, a long bridge you would drive on. And on either side of this, and it's up high. And if you go off the sides, either side, you're guaranteed death. So it's my job, that bridge or that road, whatever, represents all of my child's life, and from right now where we're at into the future that we can't see yet. It's my job to set the rails on the sides of that bridge all the way the fuck down for the rest of eternity. So those are the child's morals, standards, safety, and what we stand for. And within these guardrails, do anything and whatever the fuck you want, how you want, as long as it's within these guardrails. And if you can do whatever the fuck, that's fine. But this is, I guess, boundary. I'm creating the boundary for the rest of your life that it's up to you to reestablish and re-agree with as you get older. But the understanding that all I am is a guardrail, and sometimes I have to act as the guardrail when they hit it, which is discipline or deep talks or checking myself, because it's the guardrail doesn't punch the car. And that's what a lot of parents are doing. They're being the guardrail and they're reaching out and slapping the car, when in reality, the car has to hit the guardrail in order for the correction they need to be made. So
I like that. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
That would prevent a lot of parents from hitting their kids.
Right. And this is the other thing.
You just walked into my fist.
Yeah, right. Dude, this is the thing, is parents metaphorically and verbally do that to their kids all the time. And they do harsh things the biggest thing a lot of that I observe parents do is I don't know what the word is, but I guess shunning their kid, turning, ignoring little things like that, or not listening all the way, or listening just to be a parent. It's can we blah, blah, blah? No, stop it. It's rather than engaging, why do you want that? What's that going to do for you? You know what I mean? When you ask a 4-year-old or somebody that age questions like that, they think you're fun now because you're acknowledging their world. So it's like, that's why I think to be the guardrail, like you got to maintain your place. You can't reach out and fucking slap the car. Like you got to stay in your thing. And like a lot of parents are doing it, not really even with what they say, it's with what they're not saying and what they're not asking. So having that visualization in my head pretty much like all the time is how I create a piece for myself. It's like, well, this is where I stand forever, so it's a non-issue now. You know, it's like the same way I'm never gonna fucking hit a woman, abuse a child, anything like that. It's just a forever always thing. No matter what, this is the standard, and we do not fucking break from this. But you can do whatever the fuck else. Like, and my parents raised me with the context and the understanding of do everything in life and figure out what you love and just do all the things that you love. And it's like, they never pushed me to be a doctor or a fucking this or that or an astronaut. They never pushed me to be anything. They just said, do what you love. Do everything and do what you love and do those things. If it's multiple things, then do them all. And I'm like, fuck, like it was a mind fuck growing up. And now I'm so grateful because that provided me with this context of like, all right, this is how I boil down further that same message of like, just do everything and do what you love. It's like, do that. But at the same time, here's a little bit of like guideline and boundary to do everything that you love, you know? So that's how I maintain peace when I feel like I can't provide enough for my kids, or I'm not doing good enough, or I'm not getting them in different programs or this or that, or, you know, shit that I know would be good for them. I just don't have the means to do it. I just have to understand, all right, like, fuck it. This is where I'm at. I'm the guardrail. Let's fucking go, you know? And I can't waver from being the guardrail for them. So whatever the truth about me is, it's still going to maintain solid. So like, that's going to be the plane that we're going to move on. So I don't know if that even makes sense to, you know, but like, that's how I see it. And
yeah, it's like, here are the guidelines and this is where we're going and this is how we're going to do it. Right.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that you added up until you can create it for yourself. Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool that, right? Because I feel like you got that firsthand when it comes, we were talking about this yesterday, right? About culture and how culture can sometimes be so beautiful, but at the same time, so limiting, right? And so it sounds to me like you're in a way imposing your culture at the beginning as a foundation, but then offering the opportunity to expand beyond that, to explore that for themselves.
Dude, absolutely. And I think what I want my culture to be from the first place is openness and exploration. So it's like, it kind of makes it easy for them to subscribe to the culture that I've provided them in the first place, which they don't have to pick up, but it's like, as a parent, you'd like your kids to take on a lot of core beliefs that you have, you know? So like, yeah. So yeah, I don't know, it's a fascinating thing, dude. It's like, because you can't turn it off. It's like always in your brain, at least in your soul. Your blood is now, you know, your spirit, like, is now another version of you.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's crazy, dude. Like, it's just really, I don't know. It's a trippy fucking thing, dude. So that's the thing, is like, I love what you have to say about being a parent before even being a parent, and what you observe and think is cool about what I have to say about being a parent. And that equals us just being better men for society in general. You know what I mean? Like that, like, that's fucking it, you know? And that's the reason that it's like, we have to record this shit. You know, it's like, this is for the kids. This is for the kids. And it's like, I don't give a fuck if anybody knows who I am. Like, my family has this forever, and fucking, you're my motherfucking brother. You're a part of the family. And this is just going to go on forever. You know what I mean? And it's like, here's the knowledge, here's the wisdom, like, here's the fucking tablets. This is just how we present it in this day and age, you know? Like,
yeah. So, oh man, I just felt like I was in the newscast.
So, which is funny, speaking of which, oh, thank you. Oh shit, I forgot hold on. I gotta find this because, all right, so hold on, let me finish this real quick. Okay, never mind. All right, so this is where I put you on the spot.
Oh, man.
And I get to test you and help you create your legacy because you are already doing this, but it's my job as your friend and brother to help you expand and grow on that and push you to uncomfortable places when I know you need to be. And it's not often. I don't really do this to you, but it's like, I always tell you the truth. So it's like, fuck it. Even if I'm wrong, I'm still going to tell you whatever. I don't care. But this is necessary and this is important. So I want to say, everybody, welcome to the Sebastian Hernandez podcast. Sebastian is going to be hosting the podcast for the next 15 minutes here because you're going to run the show, because you are going to come up with your own podcast. And this is practice for when you start your own podcast. You fucking recorded a documentary. You wrote a book. You have another book in writing. You have all these courses. You were too important to not have your own podcast, and you said you're going to, so I'm holding you to it. So we're going to practice, and we can start this however the fuck you want, but it's your show.
Oh, man.
You can spit your own message. You could be completely just you. You can talk to me, whatever the fuck.
Well. Talk about putting me on the spot. Well, so if this was to be if this is my podcast.
So let's just start off. You just started recording and this is your show.
All right. Boom. Welcome to Ignite Self-Mastery, where you get to elevate how you show up in the world by standing in alignment with your highest self. So today we have a special guest. We got Mr. Calvin in the house, all the way from Damn Dude Podcast.
Oh shit. Yo.
All right. How you doing today, Mr. Calvin?
I'm great, bro. This is actually the first podcast I've ever been on. That's not my own fucking podcast.
Yeah?
Ever.
Oh, fuck it.
So I'm doing great because I'm on your show and I feel honored, and just what you have, for you to have a show and for what you have to offer the world, phenomenal, bro. So I'm so happy. I'm so grateful that you're here in town. Like, we never get to fucking see you. So I can only imagine the people you're going to interview and what you're going to do. And I realize you asked me how I'm doing and I'm talking about you, but that is... That's how I'm doing. That's what I'm thinking about. Very presently, I'm thinking about how impactful this is and just how cool this is and how historical this is going to be in the future. And the conversations you're going to have with people around the fucking world and that you're going to interview and talk to, I cannot even imagine, bro. So I feel very honored and very, almost even privileged to be here. So thank you.
Dude, like, the fact that you've created this, the fact that you even thought to put this together, the fact, like, this is pretty fucking powerful.
Fuck yeah, bro.
Very, very powerful. So forever, you will be the one that initiated my first podcast.
Fuck yeah. Hell yeah.
I've been initiated into the podcast world.
Fuck yes.
Thank you, damn dude.
Fuck yeah, bro.
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude. Here, we can borrow one.
All right, well.
So here's your timer. If you're talking about doing shorter form podcasts, this is what it feels like. All right, we started at 15 minutes.
All right, so with that being said, what I would like to do is I would like to go over 6 steps. Okay. And I would like to identify where you lie on those 6 steps. Yes?
Okay.
All right. And yes. All right. So the first step that Ignite Self-Mastery represents is aligning with your highest self. Mr. Calvin. Damn, dude. How clear are you on who your highest self is?
How clear am I? I feel like I'm very much in the process of creating my highest self. So I would say if I were to rate it on a percentage scale out of 100, I'm probably like 70% clear.
Okay, perfect.
No, 80%.
80%.
Yes.
Perfect. All right. So, Mr. Calvin, you did take the foundation course, right?
Yes. Half-assed, apparently.
All right,
Fucking A.
So, at any point, did you write your higher self?
I did.
Okay, perfect. Would you like to read that higher self to us?
Fuck. Shit. Is it? I gotta find it. Sure. It's in the app, right?
It should be on the drive.
Oh no, the Google Drive?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. I don't. Let's see here.
Or where else would you have written it?
It was in the app. Oh, probably the email.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Day number
Your highest self. 1?
right there.
Which one? This one? Is that my writing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit. Okay. Okay, wait. So what was the question? Just what I wrote, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who is your higher self? What's your higher self?
All right. Well, from reading what I wrote at the time, it says, my highest self's dream lifestyle is I have enough money and resources to provide an amazing lifestyle for my kids, good schools, good clothes, a nice and safe house and neighborhood, good and clean food, ability to take them traveling. My business is thriving. How that looks, having a team who is dedicated and committed to the overall purpose of the business, showing kids and babies how to save their lives in the water, and helping adults overcome lifelong fears. I am able to establish a team in different parts of the world focused and dedicated to the cause. I will travel around with my kids and beautiful partner, training and guiding the team to success and happiness and the betterment of the planet. The hours I work, what I do, and how much I earn. I work 30 to 60 hours a week, teaching people how to teach babies and adults useful and life-changing skills in the water, making $30 million a year. When it comes to family, 30 to 60 hours a week. When it comes to family, I'll spend 30 to 60 hours a week with them. They travel with me to work and around the world to learn from around the globe. Regarding traveling, lots. Across the country, around the world, all different countries, Africa, Asia, South America, etc. Visit and learn from locals and tribes, create friendships, learn local knowledge and secret spots, understand and absorb as much culture as possible, create friendships, teach and impact others with the lessons my family and I have learned. Go through this. Regarding making an impact, I teach babies how to save their own lives in the water, and I help adults overcome lifelong fears. I impact families by providing peace of mind and creating fun and safety for them. It makes me feel completely fulfilled and like I am serving God and honoring the reason I was given birth. How the ultimate version of me feels on a day-to-day basis: fulfilled, proud of my work, healthy, silly, expressive, beautiful, and driven. Feeling a sense of pride and purpose in my life every day.
Beautiful, dude.
Damn.
When was the last time you read that?
It's been several weeks.
Yeah. Did you get presents or anything as you read that?
Yeah, like that I'm more clear on my higher self than I think at my baseline level of thinking. Yeah.
Awesome, dude.
Yeah. But and also just that, like, what I wrote is what I believe. Like it's almost like I didn't feel like I was reading it. It at a point it felt like I was talking it or thinking it, because that's very much in my thought process.
It felt congruent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good, dude.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm a true believer, high believer, that the reason people deal with high levels of anxiety, high levels of stress, which can lead to levels of depression, is from that lack of clarity. Now, not to mistake that just because you know that means that you're going to be healed from anxiety and depression. No. But it's a huge step in the direction to a solution to being able to release it.
Fuck.
And I feel like that's what I'm working with. That's the purpose of the work that I'm doing.
Oh my God. I just got chills. Fuck.
It's to be able to help people start to take that action, that step in the direction out of that prison, that hell.
Damn.
That we often call depression, that we can often call high levels of anxiety, that we can have when we get that levels of anxiety or panic attacks, right? High levels of stress that impact our health.
Yeah.
Right? And so it starts with that level of clarity. And so, but again, that's just the first step, right? The second step is then identifying, all right, great, you wrote that. Now, what part of that do you believe that it's just wishful thinking?
I guess where it's like still feels forced or wishful thinking is making 30 million a year. Like it still feels weird to say. Like so it's you know, it's interesting. I haven't thought about this in a long time actually. When I first really started learning sales and like full commission sales, what the fuck? I just completely spaced out. What did you just damn.
Sales, when you first started learning about sales?
But the lesson about when I first started learning sales, sorry, they were talking to us about how sometimes like rich ass people are gonna come in and buy fucking multiple boats and all this, and you cannot be scared to present the number of how much that costs. You know, it's like you're used to selling things that cost $10,000-$20,000, and all of a sudden you work a deal that's $120,000. It's easy for you to feel like, you know, like, because you're not used to dealing with that amount. You're not used to writing it. You're not used to saying it. You feel like you're ripping somebody off. Like all these thoughts and all this extra shit comes through your head. And that was where they were like, and the same thing works in reverse. It's like, you can't judge anybody's fucking wallet. You know, you can't judge their pocketbook. You have to just talk to people, every person openly, and just like, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't make any of these assumptions that, you know, just fucks you up. So yeah. I don't know if that makes
Well,
sense.
yeah.
Like,
Okay, good. But what part of then is there a belief, right, that you can actually, like you said, that the one feels that incongruent is the 30 million.
Right. Oh yeah. My whole point was like, I can see how it does take practice to transform seeing and interpreting certain numbers. That was my whole point of that, was like, it does take conscious effort and work to like transform that belief, you know? And I think that's where I end up selling myself short a lot of times. I'm like, okay, well, I've practically made this much and I can practically make this much. And then I just kind of get caught in that settling of that. And then it's like, okay, well, I'll do it better next time, sort of thing, you know.
But no, and that's so beautiful, because then that goes into alignment with step 3, which is, all right, well, step 2 is identifying, well, what is the belief system that can be limiting, right? And so identifying, all right, well, what part of my actual dream do I not believe? All right, the 30 million. All right, great. Well, then if that, I can recognize that that's the belief that I don't see myself really doing that, then the next step is that, all right, what's the action that you can immediately begin to create and implement, that if you were to just do it on a daily basis in the most minimal form, it can start to build momentum, yes, towards that direction. So towards that ability to believe that you can get that 30 million. So therefore it's like, all right, what action can I do right now? What actions am I doing right now? Right? And so I know that we're about on 2 minutes, so we only went over the first 2 and barely touched on the third one, which is the taking actions, right? Identifying the highest leveraged action. So, Calvin, dude, thank you for the opportunity to start the podcast, the Ignite Self-Mastery podcast, and for being the first guest on the podcast.
Fuck yeah, bro. Dude, I gotta say, that was fucking awesome, bro. That was absolutely fucking awesome, dude. Because this is going to be episode 199 technically. So it's fucking 199 episodes in. And I've gone through a lot of ups and downs through this whole thing. And I'm not good or even great at this by any means yet. But for you to be able to do what you did just like that, when you go in and do this on purpose, you're going to be a fucking force, bro. Like, it's going to be absolutely ridiculous. And it's like, oh man, I'm so happy you did this, bro. And like, you fucking killed it, dude. Like, that was just the coolest thing. And it's good that we only got to 2.5 steps, because that is going to just create more like, damn, what's the rest? What's the guy talking about, you know? So I guess let's fucking close this out and tell people where they can find you, because you clearly are an interesting ass motherfucker. You're a world-class fucking man. You do great things. Your intentions are always fucking great. And you do great things that you'll never fucking get credit for. And I acknowledge all of those things, whether I've seen them or not. Because I know you're that person, and I know you buy the sandwich for the person and don't tell anybody about it. And I know you fucking pick up the trash and don't fucking say anything about it. I know you do these things. I see you do them, and you continuously do them. So I acknowledge all the things that nobody and none of us ever see that you do. So thank you for doing all of those things, and please keep always doing them, because that's part of what makes you so authentically interesting and special.
Dude, I fucking love you, bro.
Fucking love you, brother. Tell people where they can find you real quick, and then
all right, Instagram, Ignite Self Mastery, website, Ignite Self Mastery, the app. You can actually find the app on Apple and Android or Google Store at Ignite Self Mastery. So if you see the trend, Google it, you'll find me, Ignite Self Mastery.
fuck yeah. There it is, you guys. Yeah, fuck yeah, bro. All right. Hope you guys have a beautiful day. Much love. Peace.
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
Hit him with the song.
Dude, that was fucking awesome.
That was way fucking awesome, bro. Fuck yeah, dude.
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
Please be sure to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell your best friends, cousins, uncles, pig farming, duck hunters, onion gathering, best friends, therapist about the Damn Dude podcast. We appreciate you guys. Have a beautiful day. Much love. Peace.
Damn, dude.
Boom.
Damn, dude.